One step beyond you. Only one step. Only one step.
Hi, I'm Erica Gillis, and welcome to One Step Beyond You podcast, home of motivation and inspiration. Each week we have different guests on here that will motivate and inspire you onto the next level of your life. I want you to join me in welcoming my next guest, Erica Graves of Infusion Radio. How you doing, Erica?
Well, hello, Erica. Love it. I love it.
Right, me too. That's cool.
Right. Same last, initials too.
Absolutely. In this season, it has been the Ericas that has been stepping up, helping me in this season. So I want to say thank you.
I appreciate you even having me here, sis. I really do.
Oh, you're welcome. And so, but you don't go by Erica.
No, I go by Honey.
Okay. And that's what we're going to call you for the rest of the podcast, Honey.
Okay.
But I start out every podcast and I like to let the viewers and the listeners know how we met. Can you tell them how we met?
Well, we met at my first job. I work at Harper Dermatology, and you happen to be a patient there. And Dr. Sood just was like, I guess she said something to you about me.
Yes.
And once we met, it was already written.
Yes.
Like I said, I believe when I talked to you before, we were supposed to meet months ago. Maybe, was it a year ago?
Probably so,
When he went camping?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we were destined to meet.
Yeah.
It just happened in God's time.
Absolutely.
So that's how we met. We met, and I shared some things with you. You shared some things with me. And from that point, I think I adopted your son. And so, hey, we're family now, girl.
Right. It was a powerful, like I'm going to the dermatology to get my scalp and my head fixed, and I came out with so much more. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that we met.
Me too. Your energy and just your purpose. See, I love your purpose in life. Your purpose is to touch people and to guide people and to help them get on the right path. So I love that, and I encourage that. And I support you in any way I can.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Hey, that's what we're supposed to do here.
So, honey, we had talked when we met. We shared stories. I got deep with mine, and you got deep with yours. But if you don't mind, would you share with the viewers and the listeners a little bit of that story?
Which story was it? Which was it about the health-wise, or because I've been through so much?
Right. Well, we talked about the health and how you've got healing.
Okay. Well, we can talk about. I've had a total of 29 surgeries. I've had 6 on my knee, 3 on my back, and 20 on my stomach. And I'm here to say, when they told me I couldn't walk, I ran. I jumped because God is able, and He's a healer. So with that being said, there is nothing that God can't do. I had a new, it's been a year since I've gotten my new knee.
Okay.
And I'm out stepping, getting my ballroom on, getting my hustle on.
Okay.
And that's only because I activated my faith. So it's one thing to have faith, but if you don't put it into works, it's dead. That's like prayer without work is dead. So I had to activate it.
Absolutely.
Just that simple.
Absolutely.
I was sitting with you. You activated yours, didn't you?
I'm just saying this too. This
is nothing but God,
Right.
And what I say is that I didn't choose this calling. It chose me. And I'll be a fool not to walk into the path that God has set before me. And so that is why I am here today.
Yes.
You know, and just to meet such motivating and inspirational people throughout my journey is powerful within itself. And the fact that you guys allow me to come on the podcast and share your stories, that's I couldn't say anything else, so that's wonderful. But you are the host of Infusion Radio?
I'm the owner.
The owner of Infusion
Radio.
Okay.
I'm the co-owner. It's my brother and I. We own Infusion Radio, which is on the Step North Media Network.
Okay.
We have on Step North Media, there's 7 stations, a total of 8 with Infusions Radio. We are wherever internet is, that's where you can find Step North. You can download Step North Go free on your Android and on your Apple. So, join us. We are We have every genre of music: country, hip hop, R&B, jazz. But more importantly, we have the setting of giving people a hand up, not a handout.
Okay.
So many times, like this platform that you developed to share people's stories and to motivate people, with Infusion and Step North, is so many independent artists who don't have the platform to get to mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have Step North. And Infusion Radio, that's what we're doing. We're trying to infuse the generational gap, the racial gap. It's so many things that's dividing us as a people. God didn't say, okay, I got the black people here, I got the white people here. He made us all in whole. Mm-hmm. What's the song? Jesus loved all the little children.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Red and purple, red and white. You know, all the colors. So this separation, we're trying to just, infuse it back together and get back to when, I remember when I was a little girl, back in the 70s. I didn't look at color.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play with my friends.
Right.
You know, I just wanted to run down the street.
Right.
I didn't care about that. I didn't have to worry about getting shot riding down in a car.
Yeah.
So this is where, with Infusions, we want trying to teach our youth and even our older people your worth. Mm-hmm. You're so much worthy to live a life better than what you're giving yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're about.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Because I didn't realize, when we go on this path, we think about just helping the youth. But as I started sharing my story, I found that there's people my age and older who's inspired and touched by my story.
Right.
And so that is a powerful message that you're just not, your demographics is just not the kids, that you're, focusing on anyone, no matter what age you are, that can be touched and inspired by your radio show. So I think that's wonderful. But I see here that you went to college and got your bachelor's degree.
Yes.
So what school did you go to, and what is your degree in?
Healthcare management.
Okay.
And I went to Ultimate Medical Academy. So that was a journey. I started, my father passed July 29th, 16th.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I helped him in hospice. And I already had my associates, so it was like, okay, business. But seeing him and taking care of him really made me want to get into the healthcare, especially dealing with my own personal issues. Mm-hmm. And I saw the inequities as far as the customer service, things that were lacking in healthcare. Mm-hmm. Even though it's healthcare, you still need to be treated with impeccable customer service.
Absolutely.
So I went back to school, and February 4th, I graduated. And actually, the graduation was April 21st, the day before my birthday. Okay. So, hey, that was a perfect way to start the birthday celebration.
Right.
But, hey, it was nothing but God. It was many days. I actually had surgery, knee surgery, while I was in school. Oh. But trust and believe, with my knee wrapped up, I was doing it on the computer, taking my test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and then I have 5 grandchildren looking at me. So
right.
I'm setting examples.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. A lot of people, they get a sprained ankle. They like, I can't go to school. I can't study. So that's powerful that you didn't allow anything to stop you from the goals that you had set for yourself.
I'm going to tell you, I saw my sister. What I did, I just had a little surgery. Mm-hmm. My sister, Von Seal, she was fighting colon cancer. Okay. She had just had where they removed all the cancer. And I traveled down to Alabama to visit her. Mm-hmm. When I say this woman was strong, she just got out the hospital. She said, drive me to the library. She was in school. She had to take a test. Did I not help her out the car so she can take her test? Now, if you can do that and you fighting cancer, me having a knee replacement is nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
So I've had my sisters, although my parents are gone, my sisters and my brothers have set some high standards. Then my cousin, I'm looking at my cousin, I have a cousin, Marzette, he's a fighter. So I have no choice but to fight.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so now, where did you come up with the name Wonderfully Blessed, or how did you come up with Wonderfully Blessed?
Okay. It was a transition. God took me from one spot, so it's growth. Wonderfully blessed because that's what I am. I'm wonderfully blessed and I'm fearfully made. because I'm made by God.
All right, nice.
So with that being said, I had to walk in that.
Yeah.
And I had to grow into that person he wanted me to be. And just as clear as I hear you say honey, I heard him say radio.
Okay.
That's how we got honey.
Okay.
So I transitioned from Erica to Wonderfully Blessed to honey. Honey is because honey is soothing.
Okay.
It's smooth.
Yes.
And so that's what I am.
All
I'm
right.
soothing to the soul, to the mind, and to the body.
Yes. Because I heard you on the radio. I was like, that girl is smooth.
And that ain't nothing but God. I'm telling you, I heard him say, I was in Texas because I was running Ghetto Music. I was a co-owner of a music company. Mm-hmm. And just as clear as I heard your name, I hear you speak, I heard God say radio. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting in my kitchen, I'm like, what? Radio? What you talking about? Mm-hmm. Daddy? Because I call him Daddy. That's my daddy.
Okay. Y'all own personal relationship.
Right,
I like that.
So like radio, like okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I ended up moving to Chicago, and I met John Nass 3 months after being there. Mm-hmm. And he brought me on as being his marketing director, and he was like, "It's something about you." Mm-hmm. And it's good when people see something in you that you don't see in yourself, and they start feeding into you, start planting seeds,
right?
And shortly after that, we developed. He started calling me Wonderfully Blessed.
Okay.
WB. I was like, WB. I was thinking of the frog, you know.
Right,
but okay,
right.
That's what it is, and hey, that's where we are today.
Okay. All right. That's wonderful. So, can you share with me some wonderful memories or topics that you've had on the show?
We interviewed the play, the crew of Four Sisters.
Okay.
And it was about four sisters and their stories, their transitions through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Mm-hmm. And we actually had one of the older sisters there. I called her mother. Mm-hmm. But to actually be in the presence of history, that was just mind-blowing to me. I just wanted to sit and talk to her like forever if I could. Right. And that's what a lot of our youth, we don't do that. We don't take advantage of the knowledge that our elders have. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's one of the things I remember. And then I did interview Seth. He is running for governor. Okay. He called in to the show, and it was entertaining. He's a Republican, you know, so we had to hear him out. We gave him, you know, a platform. Right. But our issue, we touched on medical marijuana. Okay. Because, again, that's another company that I have. Mm-hmm. But it was entertaining, and then it was also informative. Okay. So what did you learn from Seth? Oh, well, he was really backing what we were trying to do as far as seeing the medical benefits of medical marijuana. Well, no, we're not out here trying to get everyone high. Absolutely. You know, medical marijuana has so many benefits, but some people just see it as, oh, they're just trying to get high. Right. But if you look at the Bible, and I tell people, go to the Bible. If you think I'm lying, go to the Bible. It's there in black and white. Anything that has a seed should be used for food or medicine. Right. Marijuana comes from a seed. Okay. That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay. So I'm only doing what God told me to do. Okay. You know, and when you look at all the medication that we're taking, you're taking one pill to do it for another thing, and then it causes something else. When marijuana is the heal-all, cure-all. You just eat it, smoke it, whatever. It's good for you. Okay. All right.
All right. So we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we'll talk more about Infusion Radio.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Running a small business can be exciting, but very challenging. Most people start a business because of a passion they have, but they soon realize keeping up with invoices, tracking revenues and expenses, staying organized, and marketing and sales support can be extremely chaotic. I see you nodding your head. At Globodime Consulting, our mission is your success. We focus on all the things you don't want to do, so you can do what you love to do. After all, that's why you're in business. We offer a wide range of services, including bookkeeping and financial services, branding and marketing services, business strategy and mastermind sessions. So get in touch with us today for a free 30-minute business consultation and an expense tracking worksheet.
And welcome back. We had to take a break for with our sponsors, and we're welcoming Honey back. And I'd like to know more about Infusions Radio.
Well, we are set to launch officially on July 1st. We are going to be in Chicago for a pop-up July 3rd. We are looking for podcast hosts, independent artists, anyone who just wants a hand up. We support small business. We understand that everyone does not have a budget to get mainstream advertisement. So we are set up to work with anyone's budget. We just want to help you get the platform that you need to get where you want to be.
Okay. All right. And so is it kind of like XM radio, so to speak, if when you say you have the internet and Infusion Radio?
It is compared to iHeartRadio.
Okay.
Step North is Black owned. So that's ownership.
Yes.
We as a people have to have ownership.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm with Step North. Mm-hmm. John Nance is amazing. We also are launching Step North digital television. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to not only just hear us on the radio, you'll be able to watch us as well. Okay.
Okay. And what's his name?
John Nance.
Nance, N-A-N-C.
Nance, yes.
Okay.
N-A-N-C.
Okay, I asked because that's my kid's last name.
Really?
Yeah.
Might be one of their uncles, great uncle or something.
Right. So, we have a connection all the way around, right? On things that we didn't even know. That's funny. The more and more I talk to you, the more I find out more of how we have a connection and we didn't even know it.
Look at God. Won't he do it?
Yes. And so we had talked about the holistic way approach that you take. So can you tell us more about it and like how it benefit people and helps them?
Well, as like I said earlier, I had 29 surgeries. So of course I've had every pain pill imaginable. Mm-hmm. And I also mentioned I have a 14-year-old daughter. Mm-hmm. So for many years, she didn't have a mama because her mother was laying in the bed, sleep, or crying, one or the other. Because, again, one medication brings on another symptom. So with the pain pills, it brought on depression.
Okay.
So with marijuana, your side effects is what? You get sleepy. Maybe you get hungry. You might get energized depending on what strain that you smoke.
Right.
That's the benefit of it. But when you, with what Infusions by Honey is, we actually cook with marijuana. My partner, is a licensed pharmacist. So he makes all of our sugars, our butters, our flours, and it's done properly.
Okay.
The way that it's supposed to be done and broken down healthy so it can be ingested. Now, when you ingest marijuana, you get a body high. And which is great for cancer patients, COPD, because you can't smoke when you have COPD. People who have epilepsy, seizures, lupus, fibromyalgia, and so much more. Your body is at a complete state of rest.
Yes.
And that is when your body can heal.
Yes.
And that's what you get off of Infusions by Honey.
Yes.
Not only do we have the cookies and cakes like everyone else knows about the edibles, but we also have chicken and waffles. We have our own line of wine called Herbakia. We have shrimps and grits. We have gumbo. We have, you name it, there's nothing that we can't infuse. That's the thing. Whatever your palate is feeling for, we have that. We actually have infused sirloin steaks with a loaded potato and asparagus on the side.
Wow.
So it really depends on you.
Right. No, when I was coming up, they didn't have all of this this stuff, you know. And if you're using it for an ailment, then you run the risk of walking around smelling like marijuana when in fact it's like, you know, you're using it for a healing agent. And usually on my podcast, I'm pretty transparent with people and I share a lot and they go, I can't believe you share the things you share. But that's all the part about me that helps me stand in my truth and helps other people stand in their truth and overcome.
Right.
And I used to smoke marijuana, and again, they didn't have all of this stuff, but I started smoking marijuana because of my migraines. They were so bad that I couldn't function. Like 2 and 3 days would go by that my life, I just was in pain or just loss of vision, and it did put me at a state of rest. And so I'm blessed that at 35 years old, God had healed me from experiencing those migraines. And so now that those are gone, I no longer partake in smoking marijuana, in which I don't knock anybody from doing it because it's something that I did, but it's not something, if you don't have to be on it, then don't stay on it for the rest of your life. Right. You know what I mean? Because coming off of it, I was able to, it's like my memory is a lot better than it used to be. So there's certain side effects that came from it. So, you know, that's just something
Well, I would rather lose a little bit of my memory than have rectal bleeding, you know, or have a blockage in my heart from taking another medicine.
Yes.
So if I lose a little memory or I'm a little slow in doing something, it's still going to get done. But the benefits are much greater than the risk.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it, because for many years, cancer patients has used it for healing. And so that's what I'm saying. It does help many people, especially the ones that's using it for the right reason.
Right.
And so that's something that, you know, I agree with. And then you have the people that's just using it for leisure. And to me, those people sometimes end up with side effects that just never go away.
Right,
you know?
right.
Mm-hmm.
But anything that you do exceedingly is not good for you.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So how does the listeners and the viewers find you and find the radio show?
They can download the app, Step North Go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like I said, it's 8 listings. Come July 1st, we'll be on there, so you can just push Infusions Radio and you'll hear. We have, we'll be on there 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days out the year. So we have a great lineup, great list of hosts, not just here from Detroit. We have people in Chicago. We have actually, we Ain't Scared Records out of Texas that's going to be hosting a show. So we're excited about it. So just can't talk around. Download Step North Go, or you can call me at 844-420-4687. You can look us up on Facebook, Infusions Radio. For the medibles, it's Infusions by Honey. And the phone number again is the 844-42. You get the 422. 42, right? 420, that's the national holiday for smokers, 4687. But reach us 24 hours a day. Not only do we do the medibles, but we also make like the tinctures for the vape pens for people who don't want to smell like marijuana. We make the vape pens and the actual tinctures that go in that. So, and actually make CBD. CBD is for patients who have who don't want the THC in their system. And it helps, it's good for children who have epilepsy. So we make that too.
Okay. And you know, I think that that's something good because the youth, they do, I think they think that, to me, I think they feel that it's okay to walk around reeking of marijuana like it's just this awesome cologne. But I'm from the old school that everybody ain't got to know what you do. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it.
What?
Everybody ain't got to know what you do.
Absolutely.
You know, and so this is how our young people get caught up a lot, especially on Facebook, how they flashing all their money, and then you have the drugs on the table, and then next week you see them on the news getting locked up.
Yeah.
Like, how did they find me? Okay, dummy, they followed you on
Right.
Facebook.
Hello, you put it out there. All the evidence.
And so it's said all the time. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And if you're using it for a good purpose, then I'm not knocking what you do.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So that's awesome, and I'm looking forward to coming. I'm inviting myself on your radio show.
I already said that. That's already written and ordained, girl.
And so we could go live. I get on there and clown and act silly.
And we have a ball. We laugh. It's amazing when you go live because it goes like we're Kit-Katting here. And I remember one show we had one young lady who called in, and it went from us laughing to actually we went to praying.
Oh wow!
So you never know where it can shift,
Yes.
but when God tell you to do something, you better do it.
Absolutely.
So I love being live. I can't wait to have you on live.
Yeah, because it's like it's a challenge for me, because going from recorded podcast to sitting in a seminar one day where the brother says, if this is what you want to do, I challenge you to start going live. So then I started being more active on my Instagram and different social medias. And then the other day we went live on Facebook. And so I come a long way from the woman who was in front of the camera like, hey, can I help you? You know. And I say, whenever I feel discouraged or not sure of the direction that I'm going in, then I go back and watch the very first podcast and infomercials that I did, and I crack myself up to know that I finally got comfortable in front of the camera, and if I can do it, anybody else can do it, you know.
I have seen your growth, and I must say I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You are on your way, but when God has his hand on you, and he reveals to you your purpose, Erica, you already know. It's already ordained. Mm-hmm. You are going to be blessed by blessing other people.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, girl, I love you, girl. You know, girl, be good.
That's awesome. So, so is there anything else that you'd like to share with the viewers and the listeners?
Never give up.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody tell you can't do it, that should be your motivation to do it.
Yes.
You know, there is nothing too hard for God. God put a purpose in everyone. So once he reveals that purpose, you got to walk in that purpose. Sometimes you got to run. He is not going to open a door for you that you are not going to be prepared to walk through. So you got to trust him. You got to activate your faith. It's one thing to say, oh, I believe in God, but you got to have faith. I don't care if it's the size, the grain of a mustard seed. You better activate your faith and watch him. Watch him move. You talking to somebody who had to learn how to walk all over again. And I'm telling you, I'm running now. I'm running. And there's nothing that I can't do because God said I can have it and I want it all.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. And the killer part about it is, you say 29 surgeries?
29.
And you don't even walk with a limp.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
You don't walk with a limp, and nobody will ever know unless you share that bit of information. You're beautiful as all get out.
Thank you.
You know. And
not bad for 47.
All right. See, that's hope for me, y'all. That's just some hope for me.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
We do. And again, I appreciate you. And I thank God for your life.
Thank you. And thank you for coming on the podcast. You know, that, because, it's funny. When I ask people, they say, okay. You know, nobody really tells me no. I might have had one person that kind of ran, but that's okay. I've taken the approach. Okay, what he won't do, somebody else, will. But for the most part, everybody has been accepting and has been on the podcast, sharing and blessing other people and motivating and inspiring them just as you did for us today. And I appreciate that,
My pleasure.
Yeah, you have to come back on the podcast again and share some more stories. And I was thinking about doing a podcast where we have a panel or a couple people on here, and we just kind of pick a topic and we go for what we know on the podcast, you know.
Sound like a plan to me.
I'm
Whenever
willing.
you invite me, I'm coming.
All right. See, that's all right. Well, as Honey shared with you guys, you cannot stay where you are. You can't allow your limitations to hinder you. You got to go for what you know, basically. And if God calls you, then you got to go where God calls you, where God leads you to go. Because if you stay stagnant, then you'll never reach your full potential, and you can never let anybody stop you. And so just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you.